Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 7 now of the bathroom build here in the shop. I spent the other day getting the shop cleaned up because it was kind of a mess from all the exterior work and the spray foam and everything else we got done inside. But today I'm gonna get going on some of the rough plumbing. So I got a bunch of 3/4 inch PEX, some 20 footers and 10 footers. And the goal is my water comes in here and I need to get it kind of up and over into the bathroom. I also got to go that way because my water heater is going to go back there. And I have a sink upstairs in the loft area, the studio area, that I get hot and cold water to as well. So didn't really plan ahead very well with the water placement when it came into the shop here. It was kind of, I was trenching, trying to get things ready for concrete, and it was kind of the easiest place that I could put it. And I'll get it over there. It's just going to kind of not be the easiest. So other than that, I picked up some insulation. So we got some R15 fiberglass we're going to put in the walls. I got some 2x3s here because I want to pack out the front wall of the bathroom between the shop and the bathroom, so I have some room to put my switches and outlets and things in there without having to cut into the foam and plywood of the building here. And then I also got all the tile and Curdy and Schluter system for the shower and the floor in there. So we got 24 by 48 tiles for the floor, 24 by 48 tiles for the shower. All the Schluter all set, thin set. We got Curdy waterproof membrane. We got the Curdy drain system. We got the Dietra heat, so we're going to be heating the floor with electrical cable heat. And we got a thermostat somewhere for that. And then we're also going to be using, these are Schluter's new metal niches. So it's going to be a black metal niche that's going to go in the wall as well. So we got a lot to do. I got a pretty big party that's going to be in this barn here come the end of October. It's my 40th birthday, so we got, I don't know, 60 something people coming. And I need to get a working bathroom in here before that happens. So I got like 3 weeks to get, I don't really need the shower done, but I need the floor done, rough plumbing done, electrical, drywall, paint, insulation, toilet, hopefully a sink, all that good stuff. So a lot to do. So I guess to get going, I'm probably gonna grab the lift. I'm gonna have to move this pallet of tile. I'm gonna grab the lift, I'm gonna pull it up here, and I can boom up and just swing across and get this 3/4 across the bottom of one of the trusses or on the side of one of the trusses. And we'll just go from there. So I'll probably just set up the camera, let you guys watch that process. Not gonna be too exciting, but we'll see how we can get it across. And then once we get it in the bathroom, we'll get a little more detail on how we're gonna do the rough valve for the mixing valve for the shower and all that good stuff. So stick around and let's see if we can get something done tonight. It's already getting late, but at least we're inside now and it doesn't matter if it gets dark. So let's get going. So believe it or not, this pallet is over 1,200 pounds. Probably almost 1,300 pounds actually. This little tractor with the upgraded lift cylinders I got on it picks it up no problem. Stock, it would have never done that. I'm actually a little nervous. I never actually had this lift in the shop as far as once there's been concrete in here. And my floor is only about 5 inches thick, which I think is plenty thick enough for most applications. This machine weighs about 13,000 or 14,000 pounds, so it's pretty heavy, but I think it's gonna be fine. I got like 100 tons of crushed concrete underneath all this concrete, so it's got a really good base. And this lift has been a lifesaver when it came to building this place, especially doing most of it by myself or with my dad helping. It would have been hard without it. And I was able to pick this thing up used pretty darn cheap. And I had to do a little work too. I had to change some O-rings and some of the hydraulic solenoids, alternator, radiator hose. But other than that, it's been pretty reliable. It's just got a little Ford 4-cylinder engine in it, and just runs good. It's like a 2013, and I use it all the time. It works great. Just gonna tack these in place. This is a 20-foot stick at 3/4, so I'm just gonna put a few clips up here to hold it until I get it in position. Then I'll start putting my fittings on the ends and getting it down the wall. So I'll end up putting the straps on it like every 2 feet all the way down to make sure it stays nice and straight as it can for PEX. But I think the plan is I'm going to 90 down here. I'm going to stay on the face of this header, and I'm going to tee that way to get my way back to where the water heater is going and get to the sink and everything in that room. Then we'll come down, come back to the wall, and I'll probably go through the wall into the attic space of the addition there. And since it's insulated at the roof level, I don't have to worry about it freezing in the attic. Then I'll be able to come down the wall that the shower valve is on, and then split off from there, get down to the floor, come up for the vanity. So it's kind of a maze, but we'll get there. Clean up this foam a little bit. That's the beauty of working from a lift platform, is you can have your tools with you and your materials. You're not going up and down a ladder and trying to hold on to things. It's just so much safer. And my whole thought was, this was actually purchased for a different project, but if you're gonna be doing a project like this and you're gonna rent a machine, and you know you're gonna have it for months on end or even weeks on end, the amount of money you spend on a rental, if you can find yourself a used machine that is somewhat affordable, even if you do use it for 6 months or even a year, you sell it when you're done. And as long as it's in as good a shape as when you got it, or in this case, it'd be even better, you sell it for the same amount you paid for it. Even if you lose $1,000 on it, it's cheaper than renting something for multiple months. A boom lift like this every month is like, I think $2,500 a month, if not more now. I know that's what they were years ago. But if you can get one, use it for as long as you need, then put it for sale, it's not a bad way to go with it. So that was my thought on the whole thing, and it's come in handy for sure. I'm definitely not a plumber. I mean, I've done plenty enough plumbing in my life to know what to do. I know most of the codes for what's required. PEX, in my opinion, just makes plumbing, it's so easy nowadays. I mean, if you can plug things into each other and squeeze a little crimp, it's very simple. There's no risk of catching things on fire or trying to sweat pipes that might have a little moisture in them and you can't get the solder to stick good. It just makes everything much easier. And being that this barn's always going to remain climate controlled throughout the winter, so I'm not worried about pipes freezing or anything like that, or don't have to try to keep these all insulated. Because I do keep the barn at 60, 65 all winter in the shop area. So I'm not worried about the pipes freezing on me or anything like that. And if one day I ever want to put a ceiling in here, even though these are up, they'll be above the ceiling level, my insulation is at the roof level, so the ceiling, the attic space won't be, it's technically a conditioned space at that point. And, you know, I shouldn't have an issue with it freezing. You know, it might not be quite as warm as the shop space, just because it blocks off the air with if I do put a ceiling in, but heat does rise and it'll definitely will stay above freezing. In my opinion, this style crimp where you use the little crimpers on the end and it pinches it instead of the full circle crimps, I don't know if they're better or worse as far as the holding power, but as far as ease, they're way easier than the full circle crimps where you got to get the jaws around the whole pipe and you got these big levers and you got to squeeze them. And generally they just have a 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch size, whereas these you can do 1 inch, 3/4, 1/2 inch. I think they even make 3/8. And you just grab the end of that, the fitting here or the crimp here, and squeeze it till they stop, and that's it. It's, like I said, very, very simple. I think it's one of the best inventions in a long time is PEX piping. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want plastic pipes, but I ask those same people, I say, oh, you still want cast iron drain pipes in your house, or would you rather have PVC drain pipes? And I never heard anybody say they'd rather have cast iron in their house. So, like I said, in my opinion, it's better. And I never used the expanding style. I believe, I could be wrong, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is considered PEX A. And PEX A, you use the crimp style fittings. And I believe PEX B is the stretching kind where you expand it, put the fitting in, and it shrinks down. And then I think there's actually 2 types of that as well. One that has a collar that goes on the pipe that you stretch. And then one that I've seen where you just stretch the pipe and there's no collar on it. But I have 0 experience with those ones. So I couldn't tell you if they're any better or worse. I'm sure they work just as good, and you don't have to buy the crimp rings. So if you're doing a ton of it, it might be a little cheaper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put these pipe clamps or pipe hanger clips, whatever you wanna call them, about every 24 inches. I'm gonna mark them out so they look halfway decent across here. And I'm gonna just flush out the tops of these with the top of the truss 2x6 here. And that way it looks pretty neat and clean. We'll go down and nail it all the way down that way after. The other thing too is they make all your fittings in both plastic and brass. And again, I don't know if one is technically better than the other. I've used them both, haven't had any issues with either of them. I think, in my opinion, the plastic is probably better just because, you know, brass can corrode and you got all plastic piping and plastic everything else. Why not keep it all non-metallic to where you don't have any any reactions to any type of, if you got hard water or something that's going to corrode any of the fittings. But I could be wrong. If you guys use one that you think is better, let me know, but I don't have any issue with the plastic version of the fittings. The other thing with this style crimp is you can get a lot tighter spaces, whereas those other ones that go around the pipe when you're clamping them, the handles have to open up really far to get, especially on the 3/4 inch pipe. And if you're up between like a joist cavity or something, I always feel like you're struggling to get them in there. When I ran my water line out to the barn here, it's about 180 feet from the house. And I ran 3/4. I should have, I mean, I don't know. I have a hose out here already, and has plenty of pressure. I mean, people said I should have ran 1 inch, and I probably should have, but I don't have any pressure drop. It doesn't seem like with the 3/4 inch pipe. I think if I would have went any farther than that, I definitely should have bumped up to 1 inch. The only thing I wish I really would have done was, I'm on a well here, so I have a water softener and, you know, filtration for all my water. So all the plumbing in the house goes through the softened water, filtered water, and that's what I ran out here. But I wish I would have ran one of the hard water lines as well. So like if I want to put out a sprinkler or I'm washing outside, I'm not using softened water to water grass or power wash the driveway or something like that. So it would have been nice to run 2 lines out here. So what I did to kind of compensate for that is in my basement where the water line goes out, I have both the soft water and the hard water plumbed into the line, the 3/4 inch line coming out here. And I have a set of valves down there, and I can turn off the softened water and turn on the unsoftened water or hard water, whatever you want to call it, and select which one I want coming out here. So like if I know I'm going to be running the sprinkler, or if I got the power washer out, I'm washing everything down outside, I'll go down there and flip the valves around and run the hard water. And it's not ideal, but at least I have that option. But now that I have, you know, it's gonna have a hot water heater out here in the bathroom, I just gotta make sure that I flip it back to the soft water when I'm done doing that, if I'm using the hard water for a while. And we're gonna go through right here, and then I'm gonna just connect a 4-foot piece of pipe and push it through as I crimp it on. And that should give me enough to reach that interior wall that I need to go down. I can trim it back a little bit once I'm in there. I'll tell you what, guys, I've been doing the YouTube thing for, I don't know, maybe 2 months now, or a month and a half, or something like that. And I will say, it's a lot harder than I definitely thought it was gonna be, as far as just being able to film things, like do everything I wanna do, and be able to film it, and try to keep the videos to a decent length, and find the time to edit them, and get stuff done. I mean, I give these guys credit that have been doing this a long time, because it's easily, I'd say, double the amount of work of not filming, if not more than that, maybe even triple. And not even that it's that much harder, it's just the time it takes. It's a lot. It's not easy. It's not easy to get the things you want to just get done, and still be able to, you know, record and document everything, and then try to explain yourself as well. I'm not at all complaining. I'm actually enjoying this. It's just when I really want to knock something out quick, and it's like, oh yeah, I could just do that quick after work, but by the time I get things set up and make sure the memory cards are cleared out and all that kind of stuff, it just takes time. But it's all right. It's all good. But I wouldn't mind some feedback from you guys. If you want me to talk less or talk more or explain more, or I feel like a lot of my videos end up, you know, doing the time-lapse type thing, or speeding the video up a little bit, because I feel like I have hours and hours of footage, and I'm trying to condense it down to a 30-minute video or something like that, and they turn into a 45-minute video, and I'm still not showing everything I really want to show. But maybe I just need to do more frequent, shorter videos with less content in each video, instead of trying to show too many different steps of the process at once. But you guys let me know. But I do appreciate all the guys that have subscribed and are following along with this project. You guys have been commenting, and a few guys sent me some nice messages and everything like that, so I do appreciate you guys. I think we're, I don't know, a little over 1,000 subscribers so far, which I'm happy with. I mean, I feel like for months' time, the progress isn't bad so far. It'd just be nice if I had someone to edit my videos for me and film them, and I could just do what I want to, you know, do my process. But I don't have that luxury. But maybe one day. So I got a chunk of pipe here. Actually, it's at least 4 feet. Yeah, it's probably 5 feet. So I'm going to just put this through the wall. I used to always use the red and blue PEX, you know, for hot and cold water. And lately I've been using the white whenever I can, and I don't know, to me it looks cleaner, doesn't it? The red and blue to me looks kind of cheesy, especially if it's going to be exposed like this. So I just feel like the white looks a little neater, a little cleaner. But personal opinion, I don't think it makes a difference at all, obviously. But so we're gonna get our rough valve mounted. This is like a standard Delta style rough valve. It pretty much fits all their standard mixing valves for shower trims. And I don't have a diverter or nothing, so it's just your standard valve, and it fits pretty much all of them, which is, Delta makes some pretty good stuff. And at least if that's in the wall, if I ever change out the front trims, everything they sell pretty much, not everything, but 90% of the things they sell fit into that rough trim. So you got to put a blocker in the wall to mount that too. You want that about 42 inches if it's a shower to the center of that from the finished floor. So we're going to mount this block at about 44 inches to the center mark right now off the subfloor. Because by the time you mud the pan and put the tile in and all that other stuff, you're going to lose at least 1.5 inches or so. You want to make sure when you're framing your wall for your shower, if you're putting whatever wall the mixing valve is going on, wherever you're going to center it at, I think the minimum you need is about 10 inches. I mean, you might be able to get a little tighter. I did 12 inches here, because you got to be able to get the pipes off the side of that mixing valve and into, you know, either go up or down the wall. And you don't want to have it all crushed in there in the center trying to work on it. But this black face here, that's like your plaster guard or mud guard, they call it. So that's like where you want your tile backer, whether you're using a Durock or a Schluter board or a drywall with Curdy over it, whatever it may be. That should butt into that, and then your tile, I mean, you have maybe at least 1 inch or so of adjustment, maybe a little more than that. Mount a 2x4, 2x6 flush with the back of the stud on the flat, and you mount this to the face. It almost works out perfectly. It's about 5/8 to 3/4 past the studs. So by the time you put your backer board and then your tile, it comes out almost perfect where you need to be. Then you always want your mixing valve, your drain, and your shower head all to be in a line. Sometimes with the shower configurations, doesn't always work. But your drain gets centered between your curb and the wall. So if I center it on this wall comes past the curb to the outside of the curb. And I don't want to center it there because my drain would be off center of the floor. So when you're in the shower, standing from the curb to the wall, that's where everything should be centered. Okay, so I put my block in here for the shower head. So we're gonna put a drop ear in. It's basically a 1/2" female connection with a 1/2" PEX connection, and it's got mounting tabs on it so you can secure it. I just threw the laser down here on the floor, lined it up with the mixing valve center. That'll give me a center mark here, and we'll hang the PEX connection down so we can get a crimp on it, no problem. And like I said, I got this about 80 inches off the finished floor. I think right now it's about 81 inches off the shower floor. You just want to make sure you got good firm blocking in there. This is screwed in tight because when you thread the shower head in there, you know, you want that sturdy. You don't want to have your shower head moving around. Hey, what's up guys? Got home from work a little while ago and been working out here for a minute. So I got the other hot line coming up and I got an elbow on it coming this way. So there's gonna be 2 lines coming down this side of this header here, cold and a hot coming down. And what I did was, right now I'm like kind of above my staircase that goes upstairs. So I took off, I had some sheets of foam covering this up and I kind of peeled the insulation up out of the way. So basically I'm going to try to do this all in one piece without having any fittings in this wall. So the 2 lines that come in here, I'm going to do a 90-degree bend in them. I got like the supports that you can bend it and it'll stay. And they're going to go into these 2 holes here, come through, and then go down through that bottom plate there, 2 pipes, and then I'll be in the ceiling of my loft area, or under the floor of the loft area, the ceiling of the workshop area. And I'll be able to run them to where the tank's going. So I'm gonna attempt to feed the 3/4, 2 lines up through there and just kind of pull them and work them through and pull them back to here. I don't know which way would be easier, but that's the way I'm gonna try it first. So I guess we'll just see what happens, and hopefully we can get them pulled through and connected. And like I said, I would like to not have any fittings buried inside this wall. If I have to put in an elbow or something, I will. It's not a huge deal, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is the cold line here. So this is the one that comes on the other side of this rafter, comes down. It's gonna feed cold water into the shower and bathroom, but it's also gonna go this way and feed the water heater. That's gonna be over there. So these here are like a 90-degree reinforcement with the real name of it, 3/4 bend support, I guess it's called. And it just helps hold a true 90. And what else it does is it locks it in, so that way it's not trying to go back. So if you do have a fitting or something here, it's not putting pressure on that fitting. It's kind of holding it as a 90 there. And it just makes a nice sweeping 90 to eliminate a fitting. And I'll be able to put my foam board that I had up here back up, and I'll just notch it around these. Eventually, this wall that does have this silver face foam board on it, I'll end up probably covering it with something, whether I cover it with just OSB to match, or if I have some left over. I think I got a bunch of black tin left. I might put that on there. I haven't really decided yet, but it's kind of a low project on the totem pole right now. So they go down through the floor, and then we'll 90 them and go back that way to where the water heater is going. So I'll kind of get this insulation stuff tucked back in. All right, so the plan over here, this is the water coming into the shop right here. And right now I just had a temporary hose bib here hooked up to a hose reel. I'm just gonna cut this off. I already went in the house and turned the water off to the barn. I come up and I'm gonna have it go into a shutoff valve here. So that way, if I need to shut off the water to the barn, I'll be able to do that right here. I'll be able to shut it down, and everything after this point will get turned off. I don't know if you can see the laser line there, but we're gonna basically go right behind this box. There should be just enough room. And we're gonna follow that laser line down. What we're gonna do is put this valve in first, because this is as low as this pipe's gonna go here. So it's nice, you can buy, valves with the PEX fittings in them, and then these ones are nice, they have the mounting flange on them. So that way, when you solder in a valve into a copper pipe, the pipe is pretty solid and secure. So you really don't need to mount the valve, but when you mount a valve on a PEX pipe, the pipe can flex, so if it's not mounted securely, it can move around as you're trying to turn the valve. So these valves with the built-in flange on them are pretty nice. I won't screw it in just yet till I get this one attached. So there shouldn't really be too much water in here. I mean, I opened it up, but I'm sure there's gonna be something leaking back. I'm just gonna cut it here. Try to straighten this one out. It's been bent for a while. I did pick up some new tubing cutters today. My other ones were getting so dull that every time I cut, they were like walking on an angle. And these ones have like almost a point right there, and it just starts the cut so nice and goes right through. So I'm kind of happy about those. Cut this off right here. It's definitely a huge benefit to PEX is that anytime you make a repair or you want to add something or modify something, it doesn't matter. You just turn the water off, make your cuts, make your connections, and you can turn the water right back on. If this was copper and you're trying to solder a pipe that's got water in it and you're trying to dry out the pipe and it's steaming as you're soldering it, you'll never get a good connection. It's a pain. Whereas this, it's like the water could be almost flowing and you still can just crimp it and you're done. So if you do have one of these valves with the bleed off screw on it like this, you want to make sure that that bleed off screw is on whatever side of the valve that you want to drain off. I wouldn't want it on this side, because if I turn the water off, if I open that bleed screw in here, it's still going to be water coming out of it because it's pressurized from the house. Whereas if I turn this off and open this, the water that's in this pipe here will drain out. And once it's empty, it'll stop. So it's just, you got to pay attention what side you put that on when you use that type of valve. While I'm up here, I'll show you guys what I'm using for Wi-Fi since it's right here. This is the Netgear Insight. This is like a commercial style router or AP access point for internet Wi-Fi. And I do have a Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable running all the way from the house underground out to here, and then it plugs it into this, and this sends out the Wi-Fi signal out here. And like one of these can cover about like 5,000 square feet if it's kind of centrally located. I just have it on the one wall here facing across the shop. But I can be outside, I can be 100 feet in any direction of the barn out in the yard and still have great internet access from it. So these do work really well. I think they're, I don't know, maybe close to $300, $280, something like that. But if you want reliable internet, it does work really well. And if you centrally locate, if you got a really big shop, you put it in the center on the ceiling, you won't have any issue at all with those. So I just figured I'd show you that. So while we were cleaning out the little storage closet I have here under the stairs, originally I was gonna put the water heater over here. And I'm trying to look and see how to get the piping down to here and figure it out. Then I was thinking over here, I kind of want to leave this open because maybe I want to put a like a laundry tub sink over here just to clean up stuff in. But then I got to thinking that I remember when I built my workbench here, this cabinet stops here and this one stops here, and I basically have like a 28-inch by 28-inch dead spot in the corner there underneath the bench. And at the bottom side of the bench here, I'm like almost 39 inches, I think it is. And the water here I got is a 46-gallon short low boy, they call them, electric. So I think it's like 25 in diameter and 31 inches tall. So what I might do is all I would have to do is really cut this stud out here, cut out this plywood, and maybe a portion of this bottom plate or something. But I should have a big cavity in there that I could slide the water heater in right underneath there. Even if it came out a little bit, which I don't think it will, at least it keeps all the rest of this space open. Like I said, I want to do shelving in here or even a sink here or something. So I'm going to open that up. I get the Sawzall, I'm going to start cutting, and we'll take some measurements once we're in there. And that wait's break. Hopefully it fit. Pretty crazy that I went through. I mean, I measured it, but I'm like perfectly flush with the bottom of my workbench top there. There was like a 2x6 ledger on the wall here, so I'll cut that out. I think this will work good. Good little hiding spot for it. All right, guys, well, that's where I'm gonna wrap up this video. The next one, I'll show you guys getting the water heater put in and all the rough plumbing in underneath the crawl space there. I do apologize for the large gap between the last video and this one. There was just a ton going on between trying to get the bathroom done from my birthday party we had here in the shop. We had about 60-something people come here, and the bathroom as of this point is actually done. But I just didn't have time to film, edit, and try to get everything done in the deadline that I had. So, and then on top of that, I had a trip to Chicago with my wife. I had to go on for a work trip for her. My son had some surgery. We went up north hunting for a week, and everything else in between all that. So kind of back in the groove of getting things caught up. I do have many hours of footage to film, to edit and get posted for you guys. So stick around and finish out the series for you. The bathroom did turn out really well, so I'll just be able to keep posting them pretty quick here. I'll go through them over the next few days and get them all edited and try to get them up for you guys. So after we wrap that up, I don't know if you can see, I got a little carb here on my golf cart I got there. I'm gonna be upgrading the carburetor on a little bit. So I got myself a Mikuni carb, and I went through and making a 3D printing a carb adapter for it. So this is just a test one out of some PLA filament. So I don't know, just another project. So I've been filming some of that. That'd be something else coming up soon. I'll post. So just something interesting, something I wanted to try. Mikuni, I think it's a 30 mil VM3 or VM30 carb gonna be putting on the old Easy Go. So see how that goes. But I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, stick around for the rest of the series for the bathroom there, getting wrapped up. It did turn out really good. I'd like to give you guys a little sneak peek, but I don't want to spoil it. So just gonna have to keep watching. So I'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks.